Hello everyone, Larry Satchwell here for my garden update. I've looked at these beds from the house and coming down here and working with them, and I've just decided they're not right for me. So I'm going to break this brick up, put it in a dumpster, and start over. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to start over. Oh, wait a minute. It's April 1st. I probably didn't fool anybody with that. Let's take a walk through the garden. Well, in the perennial bed, I have a real mess. The daffodils are about gone. Still had a lot blooming. I didn't put out any pre-emergent, and I usually do, but I wanted to see if I could get some seeds to reseed. Well, the winter weeds did a great job of that. Next year, I will be putting out pre-emergent and a lot of it. You can see the yarrow coming up. I've got some phlox here. I've been trying to pull this out. You can pull it out with a rake. That's just beautiful right there. That started off as a 1-inch pot, 2-inch pot, nothing a couple of years ago. Lots of Shasta daisies coming up. Some Joe Pye in here. I hope it comes back. A little early yet. I was strolling through some websites, and I'm in zone 8 now. Oh, I got to get that big piece of grass out there. Let me show it to you. That's going to seed right there, and that's going to make a mess all summer. Look at those double daffodils. Aren't those pretty? Anyway, I'm in zone 8 now. Got moved from zone 7B into zone 8, and it said the last frost date was April 1st. Well, it's 60 degrees out here right now, going up to 80 for today and tomorrow. But then 60 degrees is going to be the high for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with 38 and low 40s as the lows. So I just don't think I'm ready to put anything out yet that's going to be tender to the frost. I tried to get most of the weeds out of here, strawberry bed, and my wife has been diligent trying to get a few more out every day. We've got a lot of blooms. I'll go to that bed over there in a minute. But look at my potato patch. Last time I could barely show you anything coming up, and now it's going crazy. In fact, like a little bud on there. The raspberries, although they're covered up with weeds, are starting to bloom as well. I saw some over here. Got little raspberries coming on there. I took the black plastic off of this yesterday, and it really did its job. But it had lost quite a bit of volume, so I have some compost here that I'm going to be tilling in. There's the strawberries that are blooming. And she works her way from the creek, which is right down there, up to the house side. So I try to help her whenever I can. She doesn't pull the trees. So this little maple seedling, that's a red maple. It's dangerous for the horses to eat red maple, so I like to pull those up. All right, here's the vegetables we've got going. We've had several tossed salads and wilted lettuce salads. I've got a row of lettuce coming up here, spinach over here, a lot of weeds in between, radishes down there, and lettuce over here. I've tried to get fancy and make it a little V here. These are the onions we'll be using for green onions. They were onion sets. I gotta tell you, these are huge, but they're tough. This is the lettuce that was in the basement over winter. It's thriving out here. This, I think, is a variety called Salad Bowl, and it is very tender, very tender. Still disappointed with my carrot crop here. There are only a few in there. I have to keep this covered up. There's some radishes coming up. Here's the carrots I put under the board last time. So they're doing much better. Have some lettuce in the middle and some radishes over here. These are the onions from Brown's Omaha Onion Patch in Texas farm. I got them a month ago, I think. This mulch over them is soil enhancer. I can see a pine tree coming up down there. Can you see it? I need to pull that. Ethan's flower bed covered up here with bee balm. I have some larkspur I want to put in the middle here. It'll grow to 6 or 7 feet tall. Creeping Jenny's doing really well. Over here are my peas. You probably saw this in the side view. I've got to clean this off out before the frogs start laying eggs and the toads start laying eggs. I haven't cleaned this out for about 3 years, so I know there's not a lot of water in there. It's mainly built up muck. So tomorrow would be a great day to do that. It's going to be 80 degrees. I've got my water staged here, so it's gassing off the chlorine and all the bad stuff. Lots of raspberries over here, and my irises. These are from my mom at her home. I brought them down here. So the peas are doing well. I'm having a little hard time getting them convinced that they need to grow up this mesh. But what I do, I have a sprayer on my water hose. I've been pushing it forward over here. Volunteer sunflower coming up there. Another volunteer sunflower coming up there, and another one there. Cleaned out this pot the other day. There was one fish that survived. I know there were more than that in there last year. I have some water lettuce and some water hyacinth over here where it can get full sunshine. It'll double more quickly like that. And I'll be putting that over there in the pond. Good Friday in the south here is a typical day to plant something. So underneath the mulch here in the paper, I planted corn, some sweet corn. And over here is my wildflowers. They're doing really well. Some more blooms coming up on this one. I think this one's going to bloom and then die out. It's blue glitter sea holly. Don't know if it'll put up any more shoots this year or not. I'll be putting tomatoes over here. I just think it's too early. Probably do that next week. And over here, some more corn. I'll just keep putting, I don't know, I probably put a dozen seeds in there, maybe 20 at the most. And I'll just keep planting that bed over here once a week. I did that. When did I do that? For Good Friday. I just told you that. So next Friday, I'll put in another 10 to 20 and try to have them off all summer. So these are the peas that didn't fit over there on the net. And again, they only need to grab one of those little things and then they'll start. I'm really happy with this little bed over here by the pond. It looks beautiful. Once these flowers stop blooming, I'll probably put some petunias in here that'll cascade over the rocks. The pond's looking pretty good. I had my stool out here yesterday trying to tame some of this honeysuckle. It is full of blooms this year. I haven't seen a hummingbird yet, but I have the hummingbird feeders out. My water here is a little bit green, so I've got to probably just clean out the filter this time. I don't think I'll clean the pond out. But these are going to be gorgeous, and I think there's going to attract a lot of hummingbirds. Here's a couple that have already come out. So let's go up to the daffodil garden. It's still doing well. A little stop here at my cut leaf red maple. Isn't that beautiful? This is its peak. The leaves are still coming out. That plant was, I don't know, 1/4 of the size. We've had it 5 or 6 years now. Here's the other hummingbird feeder. I've got my R Pro camera on here. I haven't seen anything yet except the cats going underneath it. This has a pump on it, but it has to have direct sunlight to work. Quick stop at this beautiful azalea. These azaleas were here when we moved in 40 years ago. I think that dark one up there is just a offshoot of this color here. This is just beautiful. We almost lost this a few years ago when we had a severe drought. I didn't water it, and it's just come back like crazy. I love it over here. Take a quick gander up here. Nobody has started building a nest in the dove little shelter there. That would be fun if they did. One more stop here is the rustic planter I made a couple weeks ago. It's thriving. I keep these 2 buckets out here with water. It has a lid on it so the mosquitoes can't get in it. Spend a lot of time out here with the bird feeders. Here's my lasagna. I was right. You might, if you're a long-time viewer, recall that I was afraid some of the bulbs in this one rotted, and indeed they did. So I don't think I'm going to get any more coming up. I've deadheaded the daffodils in here. Here's my winter larkspur. It's really doing well in there. I was really surprised. So here we are at the daffodil garden. Jimmy's butterfly bush is doing great. There's a tulip that's going to bloom today. Aren't those tulips pretty? This one down here, this one's going to open up today. Be interesting to see if they come back. Stunning daffodil right there. My foxgloves are going to bloom and open right here. I love them. Here's the burpee garden. People might be getting tired of seeing it, but if this is day, what is this? This is the first. We had 31 days. So this is the 32nd day of bloom. 32nd or 33rd day of bloom. I can't imagine it's going to bloom for 100 days. There's nothing. Well, I take that back. Here's one that's coming up. But I am certainly going to let Burpee know if it doesn't go 100 days. These bulbs were $25. They were $1 a piece, which may not be a bad price. My transplanted Shasta daisies over here are doing great, as is the echinacea. The echinacea, not as much as the Shasta daisies. These are all sunflowers dropped by the bird feeders up here. Continuing our journey around the house, this is a dogwood that was planted here when we came in. Several of the branches have died off. One of the dogwoods that was here when we moved in has completely fallen over. But that's a beautiful azalea back there. I need to try to get it forward. I think I might try to propagate some azaleas this year. The redbud tree here has bloomed. And here's more azaleas that were here when we moved in. Well, this is where I'm going to leave you today. I'm going to till this in before I go in and edit this. It's a cloudy day, no rain today, but Tuesday night over Wednesday morning, we're supposed to get quite a few thunderstorms. I want to get that tilled in before then. But instead of watching me do this, I'm going to show you some recent pictures I've took of flowers around the house. Happy gardening. I hope spring is breaking out wherever you are. Thanks for watching. See you next time.